That's not bad. That's not bad actually. 299. The verticals it aligns in. I'm not speaking corporate talk. The verticals that this sits in is surprisingly education. Solid mind here, and today we are looking at should you buy the Pico 4 headset, VR headset actually. I have actually used this in my past life. I can't say where I use it, but I have used it when it first came out. And one thing I can say is it's good. It's good. My first impressions was A, it's light, B, the quality is good, and 3, the price point is very reasonable. So I guess let's find out, should you buy the Pico 4 headset in 2024?
Like the ant in the room, as this thing is absolutely tiny. Here it is compared to the Quest 2, and you can see it really is quite slim, especially when you take off that magnetic faceplate. This is something you instantly feel when you put it on. The balance is also much better, as the battery, by default, is in the back of the head strap, making the weight balance feel much better right out of the box.
Yes, when I did put this on, yeah, the balance. Okay, a lot of VR headsets have the weight in the front. Even the VR from Apple, that what's it called? Don't really care. The weight is still in the front. Having the battery in the back makes the balance so much better and makes way more sense.
That magnetic face gasket feels just as bad, if not worse, than the Quest 2 one. It's just very firm, doesn't mold to your face very well, and feels more like one of those rough carpets than something you would want to wear on your face for a long time. The head strap itself feels very nice and sturdy, and could be compared to the Elite head strap. That being said, it hasn't snapped on me yet. The volume buttons have been moved onto the head strap itself, which isn't the most comfortable.
Yeah, it is adjustable though, so which is good.
Place ever, but you get used to it. With the power button being left on the body of the headset, we also have a Type-C port for charging, but no 3.5mm headphone jack. In the front, you have the 4 cameras used for...
Yeah, I guess that can be a downside. Oftentimes, you probably be using wireless headphones, or if you are gaming inside, which you probably will be, just use the speakers, so it's not too bad.
Tracking the headset and the super glossy faceplate, which will 100% undoubtedly garner all of your fingerprints. Behind this faceplate, we have the 16 megapixel color camera used for color pass-through and AR capabilities, which is a major selling point of this headset compared to the Quest 2. Now
So the Pico 4 is the verticals it aligns in. I'm not speaking corporate talk. The verticals that this sits in is surprisingly education. When I say verticals, I mean like where is it mainly sold into, which industries use it. Education is a big player when it comes to VR headsets, and oftentimes price point is a factor. We're looking at, institutions, and Pico are a big seller when it comes to education. That is a vertical that it very much sits in. And mostly like colleges, universities, those types of areas is where you would find Pico headsets. Normally a school or college, university would buy like 2 or 3 at the max. So at least I have something on hand. But yeah, that's where it mainly sits, and for the price point, it was reasonable, very reasonable.
What we haven't mentioned yet is the controllers. They're actually really nice. Nothing special, but they are slightly different than the Quest 2, which is a breath of fresh air when all the other companies are basically copying that 1:1, as that's the Qualcomm reference design. They feel good in the hands, take AA replaceable batteries, and have decent haptic feedback. They don't have full finger tracking, but what they do have is dedicated photo and video recording buttons, which come in super handy. But I do sometimes press those on accident when actually trying to hit the action buttons.
The controller does look nice.
Again, something you just need to get used to. Now let's talk about the most important part of the headset, the lenses. These are pancake lenses. As you can see, compared to the Quest 2's Fresnel lenses, these have no ridges or rings, providing you with a super clear image of the LCD panels behind it. This is instantly noticeable when you put on the headset. Glare is greatly reduced and clarity is improved. That extra clarity is also thanks to those LCD panels, which most would say are equally as important as...
Yeah, they're massive. Look at them. Look how big these look. They do look nice.
the lenses themselves. These give you a resolution of 2160 by 2160 per eye, which is an upgrade that is instantly noticeable compared to the Quest 2's 1832 by 1920 per eye.
So 1080p
the Quest 2
basically.
does, however, have a higher refresh rate, being able to run its panels at 120 Hz, while the Pico 4 can only run its panels at 90 Hz.
Above 60 Hertz is where the... Okay, so going from 30 to 60 Hertz, massive difference. Going from 60 to 90, slight difference. Going from 90 to 120, most people can't tell the difference. So 90, I would say, is the upper limit of where that can be a nice minimum. Because if you're doing 90 Hertz, it's a little bit cheaper than the Quest. But most people won't tell those tiny little differences between 90 and 120. So, them going at 90 is a good thing, actually. And also it means that battery life can be saved as well. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
The Pico 4 also has motorized IPD adjustment, meaning you can get that perfect IPD and sweet spot within the software, and the lenses will move perfectly to that IPD you set using those motorized lenses. No presets like we had in the Quest 2, where you couldn't get that IPD and sweet spot just right. Both of the headsets are running the same Snapdragon XR2 as their main CPU, with the Pico 4 having a slight performance advantage with better cooling and more RAM, with it having 8GB over the Quest 2's 6GB. So all that...
The difference between 8 and 6 is minimal, but at least, it does win in that aspect.
Or maybe the refresh rate sounds pretty damn good on paper. However, you can have really good hardware, but if you don't pair it with good software, it doesn't mean anything. So, how does the Pico 4 fare in that regard? Well, it's complicated. First off, let's begin with the fact that you don't need any TikTok or any account except for a Pico account to set up the device. You don't even need a phone, even though there is a phone app, but we don't really talk about it. It's there, and you can use it, but
So I'm guessing this is more pass-through playing.
It's unnecessary. That's a pretty big plus. The Pico 4 is running what I would call a MIUI version of the Quest software. What that basically means is it's an overly colorful and cartoony version of the software. If you've ever had a phone that runs MIUI, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Other than that, the softwares are really quite similar, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing. The software had some glaring issues at the beginning, lag, glitches, and other things like that. However, it's gone through many updates since then.
So the thing about VR headset is that when they first come out, they need a lot of updates to, I call them teething problems that would take time to update. This came out a long time ago now, over a year ago, and it's had plenty of updates, and currently with the current updates right now, it's good. It's good. A lot of the issues that were there in place are basically gone. So there's still some. But I guess the question here is, should you buy this in 2024? You know how I am. Step whatever with the last step is to see price point. So price point for the Pico 4. Oh, guys, $299. I can hold on. Let me show you this. Let me actually show you this, because you guys might not be seeing this, right? Boom. Right? $299. That's how much this costs. I can literally buy this right now for $299. That's not bad. That's not bad, actually. $299 is a reasonable price for a VR headset. Look at this, the Quest 3 for $599. Obviously the PlayStation is a bit different, but yeah, it's the cheapest one right now out there that you can buy. The price is reasonable. Yes, it's not the same as the Facebook Quest. Is Quest owned by Facebook? No, that's Meta. Yeah, it is Meta Quest, actually. Yeah, it is. Sorry. Yes, Meta is Facebook and Facebook owns the Meta Quest. But yeah, this is a reasonable price. The reason why I said earlier that the verticals this sits into is education is a price point element. You can buy 2 of these units for the price of one Meta Quest 3. You can literally see it. And in verticals where amount also matters and you don't need certain features, this is a no-brainer. So should you guys buy this? Yes. Yes, you should. This is one of the cheapest VR handhelds, VR devices out there that you can use with good quality. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know. Are you gonna buy it? Do you have it? I've used it and I loved it. But thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.